It is my honor and pleasure to have you all here this evening for our Macon County Candidate Forum. I am Elise Tolbert. I am the founder and co-founder of the Macon County Youth Council, one of the organizing partners here today, and I'm elated to organize this opportunity for the community to interact with candidates vying to represent our interests. This forum is co-organized by the Macon County Youth Council, the Tuskegee Branch of the NAACP, the Macon County Chapter of Alabama New South, the Department of History and Political Science for Tuskegee University, and Pi Alpha Sigma Political Science Organization. This is a nonpartisan, non-political forum organized for the purposes of educating our citizens in Macon County on the candidate stands on a number of issues that really matter to us in Macon County. It's also an opportunity for citizens in Macon County to engage with and ask questions of those who are running for office. Again, this is a forum and not a debate, so we will not allow for cross-questioning of the candidates on stage, but will be an opportunity for us to ask questions and for the candidates to also provide an introduction. Each candidate will have 3 minutes to provide an introduction where they can talk about themselves and their platform, why they want to run for office, and then each candidate will be asked 3 questions and have approximately 2.5 minutes to answer each question. When you get to the point of 30 seconds, our timekeeper, raise your hand, timekeeper will be standing in the middle and will alert you that your time is up. Each candidate will be asked have the opportunity to answer the same question, and so out of fairness, you will be asked the same question. This is also, as I said, an opportunity for the audience to engage. So audience, as you came in, you might have received an index card. Did everyone get an index card or suite of index cards? Yes, some people did, okay. If you need more index cards, we have people here passing out index cards. That is for you to write your questions on. So if you have a question, you can write your question, your name, and our moderator will answer your question, ask your question to be answered during the forum. Again, this is an educational forum. We are glad to have you all out tonight and to have our partners involved. I want to pass it to the provost of Tuskegee University to bring the brief greetings, and then we'll also have a brief greeting from the mayor of Tuskegee.
Greetings and good evening. On behalf of President Morris, other university officials that are here, faculty, staff, and of course our outstanding students, I bring you greetings. To the current elected officials, the mayor and other individuals, I also bring you greetings to the campus of Tuskegee University. You know, the motto of Tuskegee University is knowledge, leadership, and service. I think that's also reflected in the community in which we live in Macon County, but certainly in Tuskegee. Today we have an opportunity to listen to individuals who will help propel those 3 concepts by possibly being elected individuals. Knowledge with regard to what's happening and what are the needs of the community, being a leader to show vision and what could happen in this county and in this city, and of course to serve others, which is really what being an elected official is all about. We call upon you as elected officials to expand, to imagine the potential of not only this city, but this county. And today, I would say to you, probably more than any other time under the leadership of Dr. Morris, that the opportunity of town and gown is more of a possibility than ever. We look forward to working with all individuals, elected and otherwise, to really make the most of the opportunities with regard to the quality of life in the area that we live. So again, on behalf of the Tuskegee University community, thank you for being here, and we look forward to a very engaging evening. Thank you so much.
Good evening. Good evening. First of all, I want to welcome you to Tuskegee, Alabama. For those who are not from Tuskegee and those in the county, we welcome you into the county seat of Tuskegee, Alabama. It's great to see so many people out this evening. I want to thank Tuskegee University for hosting this event. Again, as the provost said, it's a connection of town and gown. We're seeing it greater than ever. I ask you to pardon our progress. As you see on Fonville Street, we're getting ready for homecoming. We had the street torn it up, but they finished putting in the pipes. They should be finished tomorrow. But progress is happening. It's exciting. It's exciting because we're working together greater than ever in this community. The sheriff I called the other day, he's putting teams together, get ready for homecoming. We're altering the route of the parade slightly, but it's showing progress. I simply say that because as you look toward candidates, look at what they've done. The best indicator of what somebody is going to do is what they've done. Not what they say, what they've done and where they've been. And we want the best out there. We're looking for the best. You want to look at candidates in terms of integrity and quality. Integrity and what will they do? What can you depend on them for? And concern. Final thing I want to say is we're at a point in this country where it's critically important that we strengthen our democracy. That's why this is so important today. That's why it's so important for each one of you to be here. Because you need to know and hear for yourself. You hear all kinds of things from different people from different places. It's important to do your research and understand actually what's going on. I go to Montgomery, Alabama. I go all over this state. As head of the League of Municipalities, I go to Washington, D.C., and I can tell you some things very real about what's happening in this country. So let's protect our democracy. Participation like today is a critical thing. The vote is the most important thing, and good people doing great things is what will get us there. Thank you, Tuskegee University. Thank you, all the partnering organizations, for what you're doing. Thank you, citizens, for being here, and thank you, students, most of all. You got a bright future because you started the right way. Thank you.
Thank you. And I have the pleasure of introducing our moderator for this evening. Our moderator is Dr. Chavers, who is a professor in the Department of History and Political Science at Tuskegee University, and also the advisor for Pi Alpha Sigma. Welcome, Dr. Chavers.
Greetings, everyone. Thank you all for your patience once again. It is a pleasure to be with you this evening. Our first candidate for this session are for U.S. Congress. On Tuesday, November 8th, Macon County residents will go to the polls and vote for individuals to represent them and their interests on the federal, state, and local level. Descriptions of each office were completed by Tuskegee University, political science faculty, and students. Candidates for the United States Senate and the U.S. House of Representatives in Alabama's District 3 are competing to represent Macon County in the federal government. The winner of the election for the United States Senate will be one of two senators to represent the entire state of Alabama. U.S. senators serve a term of 6 years. The average tenure of a U.S. senator is 11 years. However, many senators are elected and serve for much longer periods of time. For instance, Alabama Senator Richard Shelby was elected in 1986 and is retiring after serving 6 terms for a total of 36 years. Our newest senator will be known as the junior senator from Alabama and will compete to obtain desirable committee assignments that will serve the interests of Alabamians. The winner of the U.S. House seat for Alabama District 3 will represent East Central Alabama, which includes portions of the city of Montgomery, as well as Tuskegee, Phoenix City, Talladega, and Auburn. Elections for the House and the Senate are held in both presidential and non-presidential election years. These elections, which are held when the president is not on the ballot, is often referred to as midterms. Turnout is often lower in midterm election years, which means much fewer people decide who will represent the people in making decisions about important issues. Youth turnout was 10.5% lower in 2018 midterm elections than in the 2016 presidential election. The midterm elections will change the makeup of Congress and may significantly impact how President Biden will be able to govern in the second half of his term. Control of the House and the Senate is often decided by just a few seats. In 2022, the Senate is 50 Republicans, 48 Democrats, and 2 independents whose caucus with the Democrats, plus Vice President Kamala Harris and the deciding vote in case of ties. The House currently has 222 Democrats, 211 Republicans, and 2 vacancies. Nonetheless, we will begin with our United States Representative 3rd District candidates. Will you please join the stage?
Took the position at Jack State to be the department head for political science. So we like to say political science brought us here. I am passionate about all of the issues on the Democratic side. I'm a solid Democratic candidate. I feel I bring new energy and a willingness to listen to people. I think there's been a huge amount of question about how much our district has been fully served by the person who is sitting in that office. And I will promise you, I will work around the clock. I will listen to you. And it is time for a new day and a new way. And that comes from us, the people. We can do better in this democratic experiment that we have had ongoing in the United States. It is a crucial time, but I am ready to serve with passion everyone in District 3.
Thank you. Thank you for that response. Now for our question.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How can you help improve the lives of Macon County residents?
Well, I'm going to run as a Democrat, and I'm going to tell you Democrats care about how people live, and those issues are real. We know that inflation, price, our cost of living, wages, all of those issues that impact us are things that as a Democrat, I am going to be working to make your life better in every way that we can. There's not a magic wand to wave, but there is real work to do in the legislative process. And there are things that we can do. We have seen the Biden administration make some real strides, bringing improvements. Some of those we won't see right away, but I will work here for those in Macon County to lift up those concerns, particularly related to education. It's wonderful to be here in Tuskegee. This is a great district. We're up in Jacksonville State where I'm at. We've got Auburn, we've got Tuskegee, we have Talladega College, we have a host of community colleges. And one of the things I'm passionate about within the educational experience is supporting the work that has started with student loan debt relief. I think that is the Novocaine. There is more work to be done. And I am passionate as I lift that up. I come from an educated family. My dad was a school administrator. My mother was a teacher. My husband's a professor. I know the difference education makes. As a Presbyterian, we share that too. That's one of the things. We have the connection with Stillman College, and another historically black university and college here in our state. And that is how we make the difference. And I think that is something I can lift up, particularly here in Macon County, where we have such a rich history, a wonderful history. And I love that we talked about knowledge and community and service, because those are also the things that make us stronger as a democracy.
Thank you. Thank you for your response. Now we will have 2 questions from the audience for the candidate. First question, yes.
What are your views on the abortion rights for women without us having the right to do
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, great question. I didn't work in this piece. I have 1 stepdaughter and I have 5 children. So I have 4 adult daughters. I realize, let me tell you firsthand how complicated pregnancy is. I am very distraught to completely upset some days about what has happened. It seems surreal to me that this has happened. I am definitely an advocate for choice for women. I'm also an advocate to be as pro-life as we can be. I think bringing good schools, bringing quality child care, providing high-quality infant care, helping people in those times makes a difference. But that is something I am very passionate about.
Thank you. Another question from the audience for the candidate. I'm sorry, yes, you may stand.
working for you or anyone on the standard who
Campaign? Yes, yeah. We have been a very grassroots operation, and part of that was we started this without a whole lot of doing the prep that we get to do. We would love to talk to you afterwards. We'd love to have folks right now. We're at such a short time frame. It's really that get out the vote, energize the vote effort. We'll send you with some signs. You can find more information. I think I can be political enough to say Vote Lynn In has all of my campaign information, and it's just LIN, Vote Lynn In. We've got some signs around town. You notice my signs are purple because I want us to remember we are not a red state. We are not a blue state. We are a purple state. We have a real mix of voices and understanding here, but that would be great. And if I'm elected to Congress, you know what, I'm going to follow the great, wonderful representative we have, Terry Sewell, who has wonderful internship programs of bringing folks in, and I would love to have you with me in D.C.
Answer one more question. Do we have another question for the candidate from the audience? Okay, well, thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much.
Next, we will have candidates for State Representative, District Number 82. The state legislature primarily performs three functions: policymaking, representation, and oversight. As policymakers, members of the legislature enact laws and decide how to allocate state funds through the yearly budget. Members of the legislature represent their constituents and serve as an advocate or voice for the people within their district and oversee the performance of the state bureaucracy. Members of the legislature are also responsible for providing legislative assistance on behalf of their constituents who have a problem or grievance with the state agency. Legislators may base their policy decisions on their political ideology, personal beliefs, influence of interest groups, committee leaders, colleagues, the governor, and their constituents. The Citizens Council on State Legislature states that the ideal legislator is one that is functional, accountable, informed, independent, and representative. State House District 82 encompasses Macon County and a small portion of Lee County, which includes a portion of the city of Auburn. So first we will have the candidates introduce themselves, and you will receive 3 minutes each, and then we will move on to questions by Ms. Norma Jackson.
Good evening, everyone. I am Lenora Mutia-Perot. On the ballot, I am Lenora Tia-Perot. It is truly an honor to be here, but before I even start, I must make sure that as a resident and as an individual in the community, that I do a public apology to my Sheriff Andre Bronson, based on a post that I made on social media. It is very important that when you run in an office in a community, that you respect the people in your community and that you understand the whole process. That experience made me realize the importance of loyalty and the importance of building and growing in the community. This is the number one thing that I needed to state as I'm here tonight, because relationships are important, and it is something that has to be done when it comes to leadership is cultivating. And from that place, I must do that. Please accept my apologies, Sheriff Bronson, for the post. I truly honor you and thank you for all your service in my community. Thank you. That's the first thing. I am here. I am a mother of 9 children, 4 girls and 5 boys. I have been in Tuskegee since 2014. I came here with intention and passion for growth. In the time that I've been here, I've been PTA president at Tuskegee Public Middle School. Amazing principal. My children have been at every single school system in Macon County. I made a choice to make sure that they were in Lee County, in Macon County. I lived in Lee, in Lochapoka, when I first came to Tuskegee. And in the process, coming to Tuskegee, meeting the people, building with the people, it's given me a love for my community. And in that process, from PTA president, we have a drug prevention coalition. I am here, I live here, I work here, and I invest in here. And it is truly an honor to be here representing you as House Representative for District 82. We are in need of a change in our community. I am the forward change that we need.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Pebblin Warren. I currently serve as your state representative for District 82, and I'm asking for your vote and support on November the 8th. I've been working on a lot of things, and I'm just going to try to read it kind of fast and go through it with you. People don't understand what this job is all about. I was in the grocery store the other day, and the lady said, well, I can't vote for you. Our streets and our roads are not fixed, and da-da-da. For legislators, I can't fix anybody's road. That's for the county and the city. What I have to do is go to Montgomery and put the money and make the money available for the counties and the cities to get the resources that we're going to get. One of the things I did in this last session, we had a gas tax. There was only 6 Democrats. We only have 28 in the whole 105 bodies, but there were only 6 Democrats who voted for the gas tax. I was one of them. I was one of them because I knew the bad roads and the bridges that we have. I know that our people are going to have to buy gas, but the thing I really knew was the bulk of this money was going to come from the interstate. And if you can see and look around in the county now, it pays off. We are getting our county's roads fixed, and hopefully the city will be doing the same thing with their resources that they have. There are 3 areas that I really want to talk about. Education. Macon County is in a serious dilemma with education. My county and Lee County is doing great. Whether you know it or not, D.C. Wolf was the lowest scoring school in the state of Alabama on the assessment test this year. We got to do something about that. We got to get, not elected officials, we're going to have to get in there and work with our children and deal with what's going on. One of the things that I'm proposing is a competition between kindergarten kids, and it's going to be read with the rep. I'm going to give $200 to each kindergarten school in Macon County for the child who reads the most books and complete the test this year. So we're going to have that done and on the way. Also, if you know anything about my legislation stuff, I've been trying to do a kindergarten bill for the last, I think this is the 4th year. What happens is Alabama is really good in pre-K. We're doing a great job, but everybody can't go to pre-K. If you have a child who hadn't been to pre-K, who hadn't been to kindergarten, to get in the 1st grade and don't know an A or B, that's killing that student from the beginning. We should not wait until the kid gets to 3rd grade and tell them they have to repeat 3rd grade for not being competent at that point. So again, this year, I will be introducing my 1st grade readiness bill, which says that a student must have proven competencies of the kindergarten requirement before they can go to 1st grade. So it passes in the House every year, and as a matter of fact, the governor called me this morning, and I told her when I was talking to her, I said, look, thank you for calling me, but I need you to help me get my kindergarten bill through this year. And she said she'll call me back, and we will talk about that. Another thing is workforce and economic development. Macon County, when I started in 2005, I got a group together, and we were able to revitalize our Economic Development Authority. We're doing well. We're looking, people are looking at us now. If you hadn't looked at the website, look and see. But the thing of it is, we need resources to be able to provide. You know, people say, we want jobs, but guess what? You got to give something to get jobs. And what we're looking at now is trying to work on our infrastructure. Last week before last, we met in Montgomery with ADECA to see what type of resources we can get for sewage, water. Luckily,
Sorry, that's your time. Thank you. So our first
Good evening, everybody. I'm here representing the Macon County chapter of Alabama New South, and I have a question. I guess we'll go in alphabetical order. Same question. The Economic Opportunity Zone program was designed to rectify long-standing injustices, but because of the way the program has been implemented, only 33% of Macon County's population benefits. Is there anything that you can do to rectify that issue? And you have 2 minutes to address that.
There is a lack of transparency. There is a lack of understanding. So I think the first thing would be to, 1, understand what that particular thing is, what it means. Then we need to look at how do we get the businesses and the community members within the community to help them build. Because we have businesses here, we have people with organizations. So I think the very first thing would be, 1, how do we work and make it work for us? And a lot of that has to do with what's already been in place, because many times we don't know what's already in place.
Thank you for that question. As you know, that question is a federal question. The program is through the federal government. The governor made the designations, but it was a federal program. And from what I'm understanding, she wanted to make sure that she was using interstate exit accessibility where you had the opportunity to build and to grow. I've talked with her. They're trying to give some reconsideration to it, but right now there's nothing definite that we can say. But they keep telling me that we can use that the area that they have all the way into the city of Tuskegee.
What do you plan to accomplish in your first 30 and your first 90 days? And I guess in addition to that, what is your top priority?
When I think of where we are and who we are here as a district, the first thing that I want to accomplish is the understanding of transparency of information. The number one priority is really where is our money going and how can we rectify it. I think that's the number one thing that I would say is what needs to be done, because the people are in the dark. The people are not aware. The people are confused. The people are lost in so many different ways. So I think the very first thing, my priority coming in is to, one, acknowledge the people, acknowledge the information, acknowledge what is going on. And so that would be my number one priority is, one, having conversation with our representative to see what has been done and how we can move forward, because I don't believe that we can do it by ourselves. I believe that we have to be able to do it collaboratively. So with all the knowledge, the 17 years of knowledge of our representative, that needs to be, the baton has to be passed. And when the baton is passed, we can get the things that we need done.
My main priority now is that now that we're looking at economic development, we got to develop a workforce. We got to train our people so they are ready. There's a lot of things that's different now. You don't just fill out a piece of paper. You got to do it on a computer. You got to do some things. So right now, I'm getting ready to form a task force. No, I'm coming with another task force, and it's going to be 1 year. We're going to do a strategic plan for 1 year to get people ready, get those with GEDs, without GEDs, get them in the Ready to Work program so that they can know what's actually out there for them to do. And my second thing that I'm going to work on is get a 24-hour health care facility in Macon County. We don't need to have a college in this community and don't have a 24-hour. I'm in the process now of working with the Alabama Hospital Association, East Alabama. I had to tell them I got to quit because I got the campaign, but as soon as I finished, I called Dana the other day. I said, I will be back, and we're going to work on that. And again, that's going to come from the cooperation of the city and the county. I can't do it. I can open the doors, but they're going to have to go in and take advantage of it. Thank you.
Based upon Mayor Hayes' opening statement regarding judging candidates by what they've done and where they've been, what specifically have you done and where have you been to qualify you for the office you are seeking?
Thank you very much for that question. Number one, as a democratic country, as a democratic community, just being here and being a citizen of the United States of America gives me the right to be able to run. That is the first thing. This is my given right as an American. The second thing is, as an individual who has been in this community, I live here, I work here, and I invest in here. And my children go to school here, and I'm present. In 2022, I am presently here in Macon County. That's the number one thing that makes me qualify to take this position. Other than being PTA president, learning to be with understanding the needs of the community. In 2016, when I was PTA president, we saw that there was a need for drug prevention education in our community. I have been on Capitol Hill since 2017, assisting and helping and building a drug prevention coalition. I have been here with the community. I'm on the school board and the transportation board. It always surprises me when I have to make claims of all the different things that I have done, but I am here, I am present, I am part of this community, and so that makes me qualified to run.
Thank you.
As I said, in 2005, I reactivated the Economic Development Authority. I went through the Regional Council, Workforce Council. We had a CNA program. We trained more than 100 people in CNA. We got an Appalachian Region grant for $1.7 million for industrial maintenance. And in that program, we made it available for dual enrollment in the high school students. We also have a class. We had a class for adults. I started dual enrollment in the state of Alabama. I'm the author of dual enrollment in the state of Alabama. Also, to show my leadership and experience, I am in a body of 140 legislators. I'm the only Democrat that chairs a committee, and that is in the most powerful committee, Rules. Another thing, I have worked very, 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 very hard for Tuskegee University. When I started with this program, Tuskegee was getting about $3 million. We're up this year, we're getting 15, plus I squeezed another $2 million, which is a total of $17 million we're getting. I brought ADECA here and started talking with the president. ADECA gave us $1 million Appalachian grant to deal with the aviation program, the new program that we're coming here. And right now, I can truly say during my tenure, I brought over $222 million to Tuskegee University. Thank you.
For this group of candidates, if you require children to have passed the kindergarten requirements to go to the first grade, would that mean that children may start failing kindergarten? What exactly do many children in Macon County, why exactly, do many children in Macon County not acquire the kindergarten skills? And how will your policies address that original cause?
With the question of education, as a mother who homeschooled their child until they were 10 years old and didn't get to do that when I was in Macon, when I moved to Macon County, I believe that, as Representative Warren stated, the importance of building our community is really important when it comes to our children's education. I believe that if we put in programs in place, and I'm definitely a component of task force. When I first came up and put together my campaign policies, the understanding and concept of having 12 task force, each representing a different sector in the community. In reference to education and building, there are many issues within our community that's creating the decline with our families and our children. Many of our parents are not able to be home to take care of their children. So many of the generational welfare situations are imprinted within our community. So I believe that the most important thing is, how do we create programs? And if there are already programs in place, how do we continue those programs to help build our children and build our families?